stars are fading. 'Cause I'm sick of saying nothing.
Oh, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. We're here for the Raw Watch Along tonight. Parrish, are you seeing this message on here too?
Yeah, just continue with it. Don't. I'll worry about it.
Okay. Anyways, we're starting off with a look back at Fastlane. Parrish, I already know your thoughts on the pay-per-view as you discussed it yesterday. OMD, what were your thoughts on the show?
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Overall, I'd have to probably give it a 6 out of 10.
And that's because of the highlights we're seeing right now. I got to take it because that match was just insane.
You know what? I wouldn't put any matches insane or over the top. Some nice surprises, some good quality spots, but I mean, I've seen better last man standing matches than the one we witnessed on Saturday night. You get the surprise return. You get, when you open with the tag team championship match, I was a little let down that there was no tease of a cash-in. But given the way that match ended, I also understand why.
And Parrish, I just want to say congratulations on the new child and on a fantastic episode of Busting Out yesterday with Mr. Tom Collier. That was a really fun show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you on that. As Leeds, you're coming in saying congrats. I appreciate that. And thank you for joining us today. I am just letting everybody know if you are having any issues on the Twitch side, let us know if you can, whether it's through like that, our email at olepodcast@gmail.com, or perhaps go to your YouTube. And if you're having any issues on the Twitch, go to our local establishment YouTube, or even the Turnbuckle Studios YouTube.
Yes, and again, congratulations,
on the
Parrish.
Twitch side here, I can see it just fine. So,
yeah.
But, yeah. Leeds, welcome back. We have missed you the last couple of weeks. Although we haven't voiced it, I'm sure we've all been wondering where you've been. So I hope you enjoyed your holidays.
So Raw coming to us live from Omaha, Nebraska tonight. I'm beginning to wonder where Carl is. He said he'd be here for the show, but
hey,
he'll be.
This is the week of Carl's running.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. He'll be here if and when he gets here. He's a busy guy.
I know he's got to work tomorrow, and that's why I'm hosting a Turnbuckle Talk tomorrow. So
he may be tired having driven to and from
Sudbury and for everyone
the last 24 hours.
Oh yeah, breaking news! I'm hosting Turnbuckle Talk tomorrow. Well, not really breaking, but
as Raw's kicking off with the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins, who's still sporting the fun of Indianapolis as he's checked out in the checkered coat. That is,
and it looks like for his pants, he raided Rey Mysterio's locker now.
You may well have. And
I mean,
either Charlotte's or
if you're booyacking boots, you can 619. And he has some of the best ski goggles on known to man.
Oh yeah.
Or if you're Becky Lynch, known to the man. Yeah, my workplace still exists. Now the official dad jokes truly happen. So you're in for a ride, people.
So I forgot to add this in my description. I totally didn't know that Seth Rollins was opening the show because when I checked the WWE reports earlier, it said nothing about that. And I mean, I checked them. I checked them this morning before they sent me the email. So
Leeds is coming in saying it was okay till he came back to work. What he has got in his foot, they would break my ankles. I think I love the rhinestones he has in those goggles.
oh, he's talking about the heels. Oh, those are heels that he is wearing. He raided Becky's locker for that.
I'm thinking Charlotte's or Zelina's for those.
And I'm thinking he probably stole those pants from perhaps Techno Team 2000.
Oh,
Quite possibly.
There's a deep cut from the mid-90s. So do you think he's going to get a new challenger for the title tonight, or does Shinsuke step in and try one more time?
No, I think it's new challenger.
Now I'm curious then, where do you go with Shinsuke then?
I think with Shinsuke, you can easily bring him down to maybe a Chad Gable or something. You can probably bring him down into the Intercontinental title picture.
Him and Gunther would put on a fantastic match.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, we still have yet to know who the member, or maybe it could be members, going to SmackDown in the Jey Uso transaction.
Right.
So that could be a nice fresh start. Or here's the thing: everyone's I guess has something to do tomorrow in WWE. They're going to NXT. What if we maybe see an Ilya Dragunov versus Shinsuke Nakamura feud for the NXT title?
I'd love to see that.
Oh,
so then would you have to flip Shin face then? Because isn't Ilya working heel down there right now?
No,
he's a
face.
He's a baby face. It was baby face on baby face at no Moisey.
I totally got heel vibes off that feud from him.
Well, I mean, in any babyface, you're gonna have somebody kind of taking that.
But
role,
I mean,
right?
Even Mello in that feud gave off heel vibes.
Yeah, he did.
Like even go back to Santos Escobar against Rey Mysterio. Santos definitely was considered the heel to the majority of the people, because how can you, unless you're wanting Daniel Bryan as number 30 in the Rumble, you just don't boo Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. I mean, when WCW did try to turn Ray heel in the late 90s there, still didn't work. Crowd was still cheering him.
I mean, but that's why WCW went out of business. They made a lot of bad mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I finally decided to play GM mode on WWE 2K23 there, Parrish. That game is it's fucking hard as hell, that mode.
I mean, you can't always be the champ in just gonna let people know.
I'm almost wondering if maybe we see the return of Brock Lesnar.
I mean, Crown Jewel's just around the corner.
Oh, we got Drew McIntyre coming out, so that could be the answer. If you're behind me, OMD, you got to let me know now.
Yeah,
I am.
I didn't know before. Okay.
Yeah, here comes Drew now.
Well, I mean, this is a good way to get him away from what's going on with the tag team division, because like he was just last couple of weeks he was just kind of floundering there without Riddle, you know.
Yep.
Well, he kind of can't go in the tag team division. His partner got released.
Yeah.
Right.
But they still like continued having him fight the New Day and everything like that over the last couple of weeks. So
I think it was you're going into a PLE. You want to keep these guys on screen. It kind of gives you a little bit of some closure, I guess, and maybe that's all it was, because he did win the match. He walked off. He did his business. So you can say in his head, he closed out that chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was basically something for him to do so that they can get him to the next story, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Seth asking Drew, you didn't come out here to party, did you? So I'd just like to let everybody know that if you are watching on the YouTube, like our good friends Leeds Deliver is right now, make sure you're giving us that big thumbs up. It definitely helps us and our algorithm go a long way. It kind of helps us out in the long run. But if you do like what you're seeing, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and hitting that notification bell to alert yourself every time Turnbuckle Studios or our local establishment is on and going live. So make sure you're doing that if you like what you see. And if you do like what you see and you want to get involved, don't be a stranger. Get involved in the chat, because we like to have fun with the people that are having fun with us. Even if you're not watching Raw, we can all have fun together.
Exactly.
I gotcha. Thank you, Leeds.
Yeah, thank you for the like, Leeds. If you do that like every week, like I do for most of the shows I watch on YouTube, it actually does help as far as the algorithm goes, you know?
And Leeds, we'll throw out something new here. If you're in the chat and you show us some support, feel free to comment where you do any streaming in our chat so we can help you grow as you're helping us grow with your support. That is what our local establishment is all about. We work with other people to help increase and grow together.
Speaking of streaming and helping others stream, I finally ordered my new game capture card that Bobby told me like 3-4 months ago that I need to get. So it'll be arriving on Tuesday.
Well, I'm going to paint you as the number 69 because nice. I don't think that guy in the kind of in that first section there understands that his bra sign is upside down.
I don't get this promo now. Oh.
I do.
I do.
I'm not gonna lie. When we talked about kind of what's next for Seth Rollins, I was kind of giving you guys the option to kind of throw out the obvious, because Damian Priest, right there, people.
Yes.
Anybody from the Judgment Day. Oh.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, that is perfect. And a heck of a throw.
That was a different way to stop the cash in.
Wow.
Something that
Oh, the fishnet vest is back. Appreciate it. Very interesting that Dominic Mysterio was the one to bring the briefcase down.
Yeah, wasn't
Right?
it Rhea Ripley who took it from him at the PLE?
And Leeds coming in saying he needs 23 for 500, but different niche from Goodfellows. But if anybody has the opportunity, let's help Leeds delivers out and go support him on the Twitter there, as you can be one of those 23 that help him reach his goal at 500. So let's help him out right there. And then coming in is our good friend Joshua Joseph saying, hello, friends. How are you doing, Joshua? Very nice to have finally put the face to the beautiful voice about a week or so ago. How are you doing?
JJ, always welcome here. Good to see you again, brother.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I've actually watched Leeds videos, and for those who don't know, he actually does like a delivery vlog type series on his channel.
Hey, it's always nice to have a little bit different content here and there.
Yeah.
And that's just it, man. But we're all here trying to do things for the similar purpose. We're trying to have fun. We're trying to get a little bit of success here if we can. And it's nice when we have that community. And if we don't have the community, we can't get to the destination. Joshua Joseph coming in saying, just interviewed OVW Aaron Ryder, ref and producer.
Nice.
So if you have the opportunity, follow Joshua Joseph on at his Twitch, on all of his platforms as well. So whenever that does drop, if it has not dropped yet, let him know what you think. Does great work.
Because I've been watching a lot of OVW lately, I for sure will be looking for that that interview. Yeah, Leeds, I saw that video. that actually looked like a really rough tumble he took in that video.
So Joshua Joseph, I need to ask you, since you are on our Twitch, we have been having a little bit of notificational errors come up on our Twitch. How is the Twitch running for you? If you can let us know, that'd be greatly appreciated. All I can say is it is smarted. Joshua Joseph is saying, crystal clear, brother. Great. That is great to hear, and I'm very happy.
I've got the stream feed on my phone, and it's running pretty smooth, so.
Yeah, I have it on a computer as well, and I'm having no issues, but just to be honest with our viewers, gotta let everybody know. If by chance, Josh, if our Twitch does go off, please go straight to our YouTube if you like to continue with the chat. That is going to be the worst case scenario, but hopefully the Twitch is all right for the entirety of this broadcast.
I'm beginning to think it's a StreamYard side with Twitch right now, so.
Whoever the case may be, all we care about is just having fun. And if we can get these little hiccups in order, exactly.
Now, here's a name I have not seen in our chat in ages.
Bubba
Duke coming in.
What's going on, brother?
Bubba Duke in the greatest of nostalgic ways. What's up?
Oh, March 2024.
I'm not doing a diving headbutt off the top rope into a guy's crotch.
Will you do you? We're going to enjoy some New Day on Monday Night Raw.
I think it's the Viking rules match already.
Yes, it is. They did say it was up next.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Not gonna lie, Kofi Kingston coming out by himself kind of reminds me of a modern day SOS Jamaican Kofi Kingston.
With his outfit, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me talk to you, man.
Okay, I'm a little bit bummed out that they don't have the big half of a ship thing like they did last time at ringside.
Leads? Don't know what to tell you.
Don't know what to tell you except
Don't know what to tell you.
Dr. Pepper.
I mean, to be fair, it's really the Dr. Pepper sponsor car Paravel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basser, good evening. Always good to see you here, brother.
Evening, Basser.
Bassa. How are you? I need more coffee and get some decaf, Leads. Make sure it's decaf.
Yep. And Ivar coming out alone as well as Valhalla is not with him.
Yeah, Valhalla wasn't with him last week either.
Well, I mean, what we do know is Valhalla and
Row. Or
yeah,
Eric.
I mean, obviously, yeah, they're husband and wife, so there could be something
right.
that they have going on. And from what I understand, Xavier Woods suffered a minor injury, and that is why he's not there right now.
Okay.
If it was an injury, it could be a setback. I could be wrong,
Right.
unless you guys heard that there's something. Yeah, and Leeds, you are correct. Eric is currently injured right now. But no Valhalla. But again, Eric and Valhalla are husband and wife in the real world. So there could be something as well there. But if we're getting a straight up one-on-one match here, this could be very interesting.
Yes. And maybe that's why they don't have the Viking ship, as Chris alluded to earlier, is because that is missing from the last.
That thing was so cool when they had it the last match. It felt very WrestleMania when they did that.
Oh, get that pirate ship out of here.
I wasn't referencing WrestleMania 36 or 37.
I'm just referring Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Get that shit out of here.
Right. By the way, Parrish, I do want to thank you for your Saints obliteration of the Patriots.
I will say my beautiful son came in as the greatest good luck charm because his first Saints game was a historic shutout of the New England Patriots. So,
yes.
Who dat?
As I say every week during the football season, fuck Tom Brady.
Right?
He is retired.
Yes.
Oh, still fuck him.
You know what? Since he's not like just winning all the time now, I don't hate him as much as I used to.
Right? I mean, he was at his WNBA basketball team's championship game the other day, so.
Well, I'm glad that they're getting some fans.
There.
Leeds coming in saying one of the matches this year, the other Viking match, yes. And out of sympathetic support, I'll root for Kofi, even though he is a natural Patriots fan. I hope he doesn't get shut out as much as his team did.
Right.
Hey, yo.
And
who's in the match?
Question, Bob, this is Kofi versus Ivar.
In a Viking
versus
rules
Ivar
match.
in a Viking rules match, which is basically a street fight.
Which means they get to beat each other up with stuff and not have to worry about rules, which is kind of good because, well, we get to just enjoy the beating up with each other.
Right?
Yeah.
And historically lately, we got to admit the opening matches on Monday Night Raw have been fairly entertaining and competitive. So I'm excited to see kind of how this one turns out if they're given proper time. Also, to our good friends up in the Canada area, I want to wish you guys the best Thanksgiving, as some people may have celebrated it yesterday on the Sunday. There are people celebrating it today. So we just want to take time for our Canadian audience, wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. And you Americans who are probably wondering, oh, it's only October. Yeah, we're impatient. We like turkey, man. Get over it.
Yeah.
We had ribs and pierogies for our Thanksgiving supper, so
I had
Nice.
pasta and meatballs for my supper. I had a whole chicken.
Yesterday.
I have a whole chicken in my freezer too that I could have taken out the thaw to do it Thanksgiving dinner for myself with, but
poultry's overrated.
sorry, Parrish, you were going to say something too, and I noticed you're chewing on something.
Oh, I had popcorn for dinner yesterday. Yeah, the life of being a new
Right.
parent. Sometimes you just have to put things aside, like meals. Leeds coming in saying, I meant of the year, big fingers, small letters. You know, things happen. And Bubba Dude
I mean,
coming in
that
saying,
first
can't
Viking
wait to
match,
get.
that first Viking rules match was fun. I don't know if I would call it match of the year though.
Yes.
It was the best Viking rules match we've seen to completion so far.
Yeah.
The Bubba Dude saying, can't wait to get the new Boar's Nest set up because I'll get the Raw watch and SmackDown and maybe join y'all. That'd be awesome, man.
We'd love to have you back here,
It's
brother.
been a lot of people say it's been a hot minute, but in my previous podcast I did well before podcasting, we like to be different. So I say it's been a horny hour.
All right. Well, yeah, we'd love to have you back in here,
Wait.
brother.
You guys think having a baby was going to stop me being a little inappropriate? Come on.
No, I knew you weren't going to slow down, Parrish.
Yeah.
With that outfit too, it kind of looks like Kofi is supporting the Seattle Seahawks as well.
Yep.
Bleh.
It does.
I was going to say Vancouver Canucks, which also bleh.
Yes.
But if he's going nostalgic and going for the Hartford Whalers, okay then.
Then I can. Yeah. Well, Parrish, I know you're going to be disappointed in this one, but Noah Gregor has signed with the Leafs.
I'm not disappointed. There's a reason he got cut from the Sharks.
So. Yeah, but I know you were excited and wanted somebody to pick him up, so.
I was shocked that nobody had already because I felt it was way too early to give up on him like San Jose did.
Yeah. No, he
He's
impressed
not
out of training camp and got on his PTO, so.
Well, I mean, he played NHL last year and he earned a spot with the San Jose Sharks then. So, yeah, I mean, we got the reversal road going on in this match to a nice Tiger driver by
Okay, you got to remember, I'm
Ivar.
behind you, Parrish, so.
Yeah. I still got to say, man,
Well,
Ahmed Johnson
I'm
needs
sorry
to
for
take
the
notes
smell.
of that.
Yeah, but my good friend Phil Lafont, he knows how to pull out a good Tiger Driver.
Yes, he does, actually.
Great story. Second match of my career that I had. I'm in a tag match with Phil Lafont going up against him. Gave me a Tiger Driver. I had no idea what I was taking until like months after. It was one of the coolest things because obviously with his time tagging with Doug Furnace in the WWF back then, I knew that was
Right.
one of his go-to moves. Very cool.
So far, this is actually a really fun match, too.
It is.
Yeah.
And the use of the beard from Kofi, that was awesome. Oh,
Wow. Nice.
And
you
there's
just saw
Van
the beard
Hall.
spot? Yeah,
Yeah,
there
he
she
just
is.
went.
And there's Xavier.
And there's Van Hall acting like a dog. Kofi Kingston there as I delay my comment so OMD can get to the spot. Reverses.
All right. All right. I've just got Kofi going through the table.
There we go, people. Leads delivered doing his best. Owen Wilson going, wow.
And that picture perfect moonsault. OMD, you had to know he was going for the moonsault.
Oh, I
because
know
at
he
this
is,
point,
but
he's climbing, so
Yeah, but don't call him Sean Waltman or a kid, but he is the holder of the 1, 2, 3.
yes, he is. Yes, leads again. A good start. Another, not a top end match, but definitely a good match. Fun.
it was a good way to get things rolling. And now we're going to get Shinsuke right now. I mean, do we really need that again?
No. Are we going to get it again? Yes.
Yeah. Somebody's got a loud TV.
I'm getting that in my ears too.
Yeah, I don't have my volume on, so. But yeah, let us know in the chat, everyone, what you thought about that opening contest. If you're watching Monday Night Raw between Ivar and Kofi Kingston, with Ivar coming out on top, and then looks like we're getting Ricochet going up against Shinsuke Nakamura, which I know you guys are asking why. I'll say, was the story really over between them?
I guess you've got a point there. I mean, it started with a feud for the Intercontinental title. Then it got pushed up to Shinsuke taking him out because Ricochet wanted a shot, and Shinsuke was the backstabber. And so
Didn't it start over Money in the Bank as well,
it might have.
with Bronson Reed involved?
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, if we don't have these mid-card feuds, it's going to really make whether or not it's a mid-card championship, look a little bit more minor. But at the same time, you got to create that depth in the show, or else there's going to be a lot of lulls.
Yep.
And it's a 3-hour show, so you got.
And it gives Ricochet something to do for now as well.
Yep.
It keeps Ricochet on our mind.
We are getting a number one contenders Intercontinental title match tonight.
Yep.
Between actually, I believe Ricochet, Bronson Reed, and I can't remember the third person.
I'd be shocked if it's not Chad Gable.
I think you're right.
Which, if this is any indication, Shinsuke Nakamura could be the one who costs Ricochet this opportunity.
Yeah.
Or maybe he finds a way to insert himself in the match and it becomes a fatal four-way, perhaps.
No, but this is the way I can see them getting Bronson Reed a title shot, because I mean, you could just as easily see Ciampa interfering after last week's match, saying he wants another go.
Yeah.
And I mean, think about it: Bronson Reed versus Ciampa versus Gunther at Crown Jewel.
That all depends on if a guy like Ciampa is traveling to Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel. I think this is something we got to look into perspective. Plus, I think right now, the best bet is Bronson Reed, because you do have a PLE upcoming in his hometown or in his home country, that is Australia, for Extreme Rules. Mm-hmm. Might be beneficial to start kind of making him look more credible, even if he doesn't necessarily get the Intercontinental Championship out. But in the next 3 to 4 months, if you're putting him in a great spot to be looked at, he is going to be absolutely over come Elimination Chamber.
Right.
Yeah. I'm glad you corrected yourself there, because you said Extreme Rules beforehand.
You did. I was just about to do it.
Here's the best number one rule for anybody. If you know you make a mistake, just keep going and act like you didn't do it, and then just correct yourself when you do figure it out.
Okay. Whoa. She's really taken on like a leadership role for the new for the Judgment Day.
Yep.
I have something for it. What happens if JD McDonough's answer to getting rid of Drew McIntyre isn't to do anything physical to him, but telling Pierce Drew McIntyre is exactly the person that should go to SmackDown in the Jey Uso transaction?
Could well be.
I wonder if Cody's announcement tomorrow on NXT has anything to do with that too.
I would highly doubt it.
Like a 3-way trade, maybe, or something. I don't know.
I strongly believe that announcement's going to have something to do with the Dusty Rhodes Classic tournament that could be popped up, and I think it has something to do with the tag titles, seeing how there's only one male tag team championship now in WWE, and he is the holder of it. I think it just makes all.
There's
all
no
the
men's
sense in the
NXT tag titles?
unless they want to kind of unify it, I guess. I guess there are, but I mean, here's the thing. What's bigger? Potentially going for the undisputed tag team championships on Raw and SmackDown, or the NXT tag titles?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Oh. Personally, I wouldn't mind if all tag titles are, there's just one set for both men and women, and it's open to all three brands.
Right. I absolutely agree with you.
So in the ring right now, we got Nia Jax and Raquel Rodriguez.
Yes. I also wonder, though, if it could have to do with, because we didn't see an announcement this year, but I wonder if they're going to do the men's breakout star tournament like they have before, which is what elevated Carmelo Hayes.
Quite possibly.
So Nia's having a wardrobe malfunction. Slight tear in her tights down on her leg there.
Oh, cue Twitter. They're going to get mad that she's damaging the life of gear now.
Right.
See, I kind of like this as someone for Raquel because it's going to force the physicality, which I do think Raquel needs to get more aggressive as a baby face, because I felt that was something that truly lacked with her PLE performance against Rhea Ripley. And then when she did kind of bring that up in the Raw rematch, it definitely showed how much different that match could be with the added aggression.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we saw glimpses of that aggression in the second match with Rhea, and it was the same kind of aggression that she used to show in her matches in NXT.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same kind of aggression she had leading up to the PLE match with Rhea Ripley, which I was very shocked that's what we or for at least myself, what I thought was missing from that match. Because Rhea brings it. When it comes down to it, Rhea will always bring it. She's that guarantee. But for Raquel, this was her prove it, whether or not she was going to be a face of that division. And I don't know if she really completely showed that she's ready right now. I think that's the hope. I don't know if it's the reality.
I feel like she caved to the pressure, you know?
Mm-hmm. But getting a chance with Nia Jax, one thing that you know is going to happen is that it's going to be bang, bang. People, Like, you're going to get hit. You're going to have to give out some hits. I mean, it's a Samoan after all.
But I gotta say, over these last couple of weeks, yeah, Nia didn't work safe in her previous run with the WWE. I gotta say, in these last couple of weeks, she's actually seemed to be a lot safer.
I think a lot of people, unless you've been in the business or very educated about it, have maybe an uneducated idea of what being safe/unsafe is. And just to be transparent, nothing is more disrespectful and insulting than calling somebody unsafe and not knowing if that's the actual truth or not. So,
right,
before anybody does, please understand what you're doing before you actually say it, because that is a tidal wave that I don't know if you can handle if you say it to or about the wrong person.
Right.
And that's why, like, many years ago, I got so pissed off at that meme with Seth Rollins being an unsafe worker. He only injured like those 4 wrestlers. It was Sting, John Cena, and I can't remember who the other 2 were. In
Finn
that
Balor.
meme. Oh yeah, Finn Balor, and I can't remember who the 4th one was, but everybody went around, oh, he's not a safe worker. He's not a safe worker. Meanwhile, those are like the only 4 guys he's injured wrestling.
Yeah, and it's not like they're going out there to deliberately do it. It's part of the business.
Yeah, it happens.
I think people have to really squash that when you see what Seth Rollins does for Cody Rhodes when he has that pectoral injury inside a Hell in a Cell. If people want to call somebody unsafe and you're pegged to be that person, and the person against you ends up having a documentary and puts you over for taking care of you, I think eating crow is going to be your new favorite meal.
Yeah.
I'll always say this. I said this too, even when I played other sports, where if you had the size, it definitely benefited your perception from the higher ups. Nothing triggers me more to be upset if I'm the small person in a land of giants and I'm the most physical one, because nothing, especially in wrestling, looks more unrealistic than a friendly giant.
Right?
Yeah, I remember one time getting in the ring with a very, very tiny wrestler, and I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do with you? He's like, just beat the piss out of me. And I went monster mode on him, you know?
Right.
Picked him up, threw him around, everything like that. He's like, yep, just fucking give it to me, you know?
Same ballet, man. Same ballet.
Yep.
And Nia Jax is setting up Rio, which looks to be the what really call it bonsai drop, but what did she call it?
The Annihilator.
There you go.
I'm still going to call it the bonsai drop. It's always been the bonsai drop because it was the bonsai drop when Yoko used it. It was the bonsai drop when Rikishi used it.
Yeah, but I don't hate the creativity of trying to make it her own.
Yeah. I do like that. It's pretty much
these
done
ladies.
as an homage to Yokozuna, though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say, I had to get up to these ladies are putting on a solid match, and out comes the women's world champion, Rhea Ripley.
And my brain was all confused because I only saw the back and I didn't really notice the purple rag until after, but I thought it was Shayna Baszler running in.
Well, speaking of which.
Speaking of the devil.
I'm not gonna lie, give me that match. Shayna Baszler versus Rhea Ripley. Whew.
Yeah.
Well, I've been wanting this match for months. That one. Well executed. So there's one thing I'm actually liking about this. We're seeing a depth in the women's division for the women's title because of this.
Leads?
Every woman now laying their stake to get either Nia Jax or the women's title.
What I love is you have 4 of probably the biggest in terms of not just
Power.
just size and power, and vigor going up against it, making this really kind of like it's almost like a heavyweight title match feel, but you have the powerhouses of the women's division colliding, and it's very intriguing.
All of them laying their claim again for the women's title because it started with Nia attacking Rhea a few weeks back, and now everybody's attacking Nia for doing that, and now it's awesome, you know. Only people we haven't seen step in that Nia has attacked is Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Okay, we got to say it's Piper Niven and Chelsea Green.
I like that you brought up Samantha Irvin because I did watch an interview she did with Chris Van Vliet, and she was talking about ring announcers who takes it. She's taken inspiration from on how her announcing style is, and she actually mentions Howard Finkel. I'm like, you're a bit too young to remember Howard Finkel, but all right, I respect you for that.
When you have the network, you're not too young to do research.
Yeah,
right.
And after the Drew and Seth little backstage segment, I will. OMD, are you caught up now with who is now walking down to the ring?
I can see Cody and Jey in the back, so I'm guessing they're coming up next.
Yeah, do you see how maybe less intoxicated they are
Yes.
than they were at the press conference?
Yes, I do.
I still have to go back and watch that.
It was nothing short of hilarious.
Jey especially.
Yeah, Joshua Joseph coming in. The
thing. I mean, if you want to learn how to ring announce and you want to watch the best ring announcer, the Fink, you got to watch him.
If you don't like the Fink, then we don't care what you think. Because we just think you stink.
There's that tease again I've been hearing all week. The Undertaker's going to NXT too.
Yep.
Lead saying, I love Cody. He has time for everyone. He is so humble. Yeah, and little story shown, but the place that I used to work before here, Love Wrestling, we had a guy there named Pluggo. He was actually the guy that got Cody Rhodes to say yeet, which I thought was pretty awesome. And shout out to Cody for doing those things because it just makes everything so much more fun for everyone.
And I'm sure if Carl were here, he would talk about how he met Cody on the Chris Jericho cruise and just how cool he was.
Yeah. I actually once went head-to-head at a local wrestling show because Cody Rhodes was having a match with somebody else on the same night, and we were both the main event of our respective companies. So, yeah, that was fun. Sucked because I couldn't go and see it, but it was fun to have it kind of claim that I've gone head-to-head with them.
2 more days till the hockey season starts officially.
tomorrow.
Oh, is today the 10th already?
Yep.
No, today's the 9th. 2 days.
Yeah. It's a 10th month, if that helps.
Yeah.
No, there's 3 games scheduled for Tuesday night.
Okay,
That's
well, the
tomorrow.
season opener's on October 11th on Sportsnet.
Yeah, that's for the Leafs and stuff. Because tomorrow night,
Yeah, we all know that Toronto networks only think of Toronto. Nobody else matters. All right.
No, because tomorrow night we've got Nashville, Tampa, Chicago, Pittsburgh, and Seattle, Vegas.
Yeah.
And 2 of those games are going on TNT.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be the first season that they're hosting hockey, isn't it? Or something like
Second.
that?
No, TNT had it last year as well.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because Wayne Gretzky is a.
Yeah,
is
I
on
was
the
just going
panel
to
for
say, 'cause I
TNT.
remember a big story about Wayne Gretzky getting hired to work there.
Yeah.
And he also got a Paul Bizzanetter job there.
Yep. They're going head to head with AEW title Tuesday Dynamite and NXT.
Yeah. And for anybody in the chat knowing it, if you want to get some live coverage, or not live coverage, but live reactionary coverage of NXT, come check out our local establishment tomorrow following Turnbuckle Talk with the host of this week's episode, Chris Best. But you can check out Taking Over with Astra Pizarro and Ed Fries following NXT live at our local establishment. Check it out because it's going to be one heck of a show.
Yes. Actually, I should check my fantasy lineup for tomorrow night and make sure I've got Bedard starting.
That's right. That's right, JJ. Best. And we can clip that, Bobby.
If you want
completely
that guarantee, you need the man with the last name spelled B-E-S-T. Well, that. Come on.
Best is better than the rest.
So now I know Tom Collihew's pointed this out several times, but now the Usos have an uneven reign for tag team championships.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm going to put this one out there. Do we see Solo and Jimmy versus Jey and Cody for the titles with Solo and Jimmy winning?
I think we can. I really hope that Solo and Jimmy are the ones to maybe cost them the tag team titles with their rematch with Judgment Day next week.
Right. And the reason I'm going to go there is because of the long-term story arc, so you could get that leading up to then a spot in the Rumble for Jey, Jimmy, and Solo, where they all take each other out, sets up a triple threat brothers match at Mania.
Well, I know that I've heard that they've got big plans for Solo at Mania.
Yes, I know they are looking at Cena versus Solo at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Again, provided the SAG-AFTRA strike comes to an end.
And it's already been confirmed that once that strike comes to an end, we are not getting Cena at Mania this year.
Right. No, he's already said he'll go back.
Yeah. OMD, you got to tilt your camera down.
Oh. Actually, I got to sit back up anyways.
I'm really invested in what we're going to get out of this this interview coming up.
I could also see KO and Sammy.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at, because like there's that partnership that all four of them have there.
Right? What about LA Knight and Cena now, as they're undefeated as a tag team, as they hinted at in the press conference?
I should meet you for that comment.
No, I don't want your meat, Chris Parrish.
Well, I mean, we know it's a guarantee. But as we get ready for main event Jey, Cody, we should ask, what do we want to talk about?
Is that the first time he said fans? Because like he typically says WWE Universe.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit more of a lightened use of what they can and can't say. I think, especially now, story out, and rumors flying that Vince McMahon is no longer part of the creative. I think we might see a little bit more leeway with little things like that.
Yeah.
I'd be all for it.
Especially with Michael Cole getting away with saying we got one member of the Bullet Club facing off against the other. And,
Yeah,
right.
When he said that, I was like, okay, I did not expect you to mention somebody from another company or a group from another company. But they have mentioned Bullet Club in the past with AJ Styles, so
that's the full credit to Triple H wanting to acknowledge their past and, you know, the importance of these groups to wrestling as it is today and as it has been in history.
I think what would really be shocking is mentioning if they ever mention Cody's run in AEW or something like that, you know?
Well, he's mentioned that, or they've mentioned that he was an executive vice president before.
Yeah, but they never mentioned the company, right?
No.
Only Sami Zayn can talk about the company known as AEW and get away with it.
And that's on the hot seat with Corey Graves.
Yeah, pretty much the only one. I know there's probably a couple there, but I mean, that's really the only good one.
I missed what Michael Cole asked him.
He asked him basically, are you only ever going to come this close and do what happened to your dad?
I don't know if you guys hear this, but we do not have Worlds Apart. We do have Sami Zayn's older theme being played right now, his second theme.
I kind of don't mind it because it seems like it's more of a tag team theme for him and KO.
Yep.
Or maybe they flubbed it and Sami Zayn's pointing that out.
Also, I just want to put this out there, but the tag team champions are two men who lost in technically the main event of WrestleMania.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
As Sami Zayn just pointed out.
Okay, Sami Zayn coming out to congratulate the new winners of the Undisputed Tag Team titles, but different agenda for him and KO. Now, I'm just going to say this. We do have TV on a little loud, but KO does say that, unlike Sami Zayn, he doesn't have the mixed emotions. He is not happy that Cody and Jey won the tag titles because he himself just wants those titles back, while Sami Zayn is conflicted with emotions because he is happy for Cody and Jey, yet he also wants those championships back as well.
This is going to be the main event of the show for sure. And this is going to be a fantastic
Now, for tonight, we have just been lucky to hear the announcement that Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso will defend their newly won Undisputed Tag Team Championships against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn tonight on Monday Night Raw, which, as Chris has alluded, could possibly be our main event tonight.
Yes. And it's also going to lead to I believe, a triple threat at Crown Jewel.
I think tonight's match is going to end in shenanigans with the Judgment Day running out to interfere.
They are, because you've got the Judgment Day gets the tag team title match next Monday. So then you're going to get Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn interfering. So then we're going to get the triple threat at Crown Jewel.
That was my first time hearing Bronson cut a promo, and it was actually not bad.
Okay.
Parrish, didn't you call this out?
Oh, hold on. Let me check my call logs. Yeah, I did, actually. I believe so. It was on speed dial. Yep, called it. Yep.
So now it'll be Gable versus Bronson Reed for the title, or for the number one contender spot.
Or is Ricochet going to do that old I'm injured but still going to show up in the match somehow kind of angle?
This is what I truly hope here. And I know Otis will get left out if this is the thing. But something tells me I believe we're going to see Chad Gable get the win tonight. And I do believe Chad Gable is going to win the Intercontinental title because now there are numbers to help somebody go up against Imperium in the form of DIY. Now, I believe Bronson Reed will be the first person to challenge Chad Gable, if that's the case.
This is that whole building depth to the roster and giving us a look at who could possibly be your mid-card dudes challenging for the Intercontinental title.
Yep.
And I think now with Gunther defeating the streak that was previously held by the Honky Tonk Man as long as reigning Intercontinental Champion of all the times, we can now see him potentially lose that championship and thus be that next guy to challenge for that World Heavyweight Championship, if not for the Universal or Undisputed, whatever you want to call it. But I think his transformation into being the mid-card champion to now being a main event player will soon be a reality come the end of 2023 or in the beginning of 2024.
Yes, I completely agree with you.
And that's why I'm picking Gunther. Gunther is my early pick to win the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I remember telling that to somebody when I was at the Rumble this year that I looked right beside, and I said, I guarantee you Gunther wins next year's Rumble. And then we had plenty of beers. But I do think if it's not, and here's the thing, I could actually see potentially it not being Gunther.
Right.
I can actually see it not be Cody Rhodes. I have a feeling that we're going to be set for something big at Royal Rumble, and I'm very excited. I think the Royal Rumble is going to be a very interesting and exciting PLE.
Yes. I actually have Lashley as my early pick, especially if he and the Street Profits continue to gain and build momentum. And they can force a World Tag Title shot and win and build it all up that way. And then you get their crowning achievement at Mania with Lashley beating Seth or whomever the World Heavyweight Champion is.
I want to bunk off what Parrish said. If Gunther doesn't win the Rumble or Cody don't win the Rumble, we could possibly see one of them win the Chamber match to get a title shot at Mania.
Absolutely.
What is very interesting is that when we talk about the Royal Rumble match now, which is 3 months out, so a quarter of a year still out, situations may be different by then.
Absolutely.
Champions might be different by then.
Yeah, we just got to hope
So
and pray
we
that
gotta
the guy
take-
Gunther doesn't get hurt in between now and then,
Yeah. But it's one of those situations that when we talk about something 3 months out, is that the situation is going to be exactly what it is at the current moment. So it's going to be a lot of interest and intrigue going into that road towards the Royal Rumble, because we might be set for a completely different person. Whether it's somebody that maybe returns, maybe it's somebody that signs, whether it's somebody that's right there in front of us.
Yeah, I was just going to point it
It's
out
still
too.
hard to say.
He's definitely going to be in that conversation, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wasn't even pointing to him, but I'm just saying the person right in front of us is more or less somebody already on the roster.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if, and only if, say, perhaps somebody who did use the best in the world returns to WWE, I'm sorry, but as much as I wouldn't want it, you have to throw him as a favorite to be, if he was to re-sign with the WWE.
You're not talking about Shane McMahon, are you?
No, but I did tweet today with a photo of Tim Tebow that he does resemble a younger Shane McMahon. Check that one out and tell me if I'm wrong, because they do kind of look similar. Didn't think I had a transition on that one, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't think you'd go to Tim Tebow from Shane McMahon, but all right.
Nah. Hey, just like the football play of
And I
Tim
didn't even
Tebow,
think about this too. but
I
like
can
bringing up
intercept
Shane McMahon-
anything you throw at me.
So, in other words, you're the San Francisco 49ers versus the Cowboys?
And I didn't even think of this. but
No, I'm the
bringing
New
up Shane
Orleans
McMahon
Saints
when
against the
his
New
son
England
was at the
Patriots.
PLE.
Boom.
I didn't even think about this,
sorry.
but bringing up Shane McMahon when his son was at the PLE on Saturday. So
Yep. And them pointing that out.
Well, why wouldn't they? It's a McMahon-owned company still. Whether or not they sold to TKO, you're still going to put the McMahons right there with WWE. It's kind of hard not to.
they also showed him
That guy-
sitting behind the commentator's booth all night long as well. So.
Yeah, and his haircut really reminded us just how silly his dad can wrestle in a ring.
Yeah. And every time they cut to the announcers, you see him bouncing around like an idiot too, like his dad would.
Which way did he go? Which way did he go? Which way did he go?
Shut up.
I don't care what anyone says. The 2006 DX was funny as hell, and that segment is one of my favorites.
You know, not that it's likely we would see it, but I'd almost like to see TMDK return to WWE and reform with Bronson.
Are they still not in New Japan?
They are.
Okay.
And Zack Sabre Jr., who is a part of that, is he actually did have a match at Wrestle Dream against Bryan Danielson. So I think they kind of flub between the two promotions a little bit.
Yep.
I just laughed at when they were in the WWE as TM61. That's a Pokemon move name that they had.
Yes, and before TM61 name, they were just the Mighty. But I'd still love to see Shane Thorne and Shane Haste and I can't remember both return. Because I know that they had a tag match at PLE as well on the pre-show.
Yeah, I mean, they were TM61, but they also used the Mighty Don't Kneel as a tagline
to
their name.
they fought the Acclaimed for the trios titles on the pre-show for Wrestle Dream.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, also like that Wrestle Dream, for anybody who didn't know, that was a honor show, and it did feature a lot of AEW versus New Japan in that.
Yes.
But this is Monday Night Raw. We're talking Monday Night Raw. People, how are you enjoying the flagship show of the World Wrestling Entertainment that is, once again, Monday Night Raw? We are in store as we are in a commercial break with Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed Intercontinental Championship on the line. For the person who wins, they will get a shot at that championship. No, Gunther's not in the match, but he is definitely watching very close. Still scheduled for tonight, we have a tag team title match. Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso defending their championships against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and we still know that we have not seen the last of the Judgment Day, as I believe JD McDonough and Drew McIntyre is set for a clash in Peyton Manning's favorite city, that is Omaha. But what are your thoughts, everyone? How are you enjoying Monday Night Raw? How are you enjoying our show? Let us know. And just want to take the time to maybe let everybody know that on the Turnbuckle Studios that you can help our good old friend Carl Carafel out, as you can head to his link tree over here a little bit. He's not here, but doesn't mean we're not going to help kind of plug his stuff for him. Go to that link, tr.ee/Carol Carafel. Get all that great merchandise on there. Help out. But if you're on our local establishment, you can help us out by going to rogueenergy.com and using that promo code OLEPODS to save 10% on not just your first order, it's your second order, your third order, your fourth. And they got a plethora of stuff right there for you. Yeah, hashtag plethora. As you can get your powder, you can get your cans if you're a U.S. citizen. You can get merchandise in the form of shakers, mouse pads, and more. But just make sure you save yourself 10% when you use that promo code OLEPODS when you're in that shopping cart, because we want you to save some money, especially as we're nearing up for that Christmas season. Now we're back with this match. Guys, what say you?
This is a fun match so far, really entertaining. All three guys are just killing it out there right now. And you mentioned Rogue Energy. I've got my next can ready for me to order on Friday. Or I should say Saturday.
It'd be very
Probably won't have time to order it on Friday.
That's fair. See Bronson Reed now showcasing his power as we give it about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as OMD should be getting caught up right around now.
I'm getting
Samoan.
both guys on the shoulders of Bronson Reed for the Samoan drop now.
There
So
we
you're
go.
about like
The
30
fireman
seconds behind us.
maybe 15. I'd give it about 15. OMD, gotta ask, where are you watching Monday Night Raw tonight? Is it the USA Network or is it Sportsnet 360?
I am doing Sportsnet 360 tonight. It just happened to be the closest channel to where I was at on the TV guide. So,
yeah. So clearly you're watching some poker before this whole thing on.
no, actually, prior to that, I was playing Xbox. So
that's fair.
And then I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to be in or if I was going to be in and out, because there's a leak in my neighbor's apartment. So they've been in and out of the apartment all day trying to figure out where it's coming from and going to. So fortunately, it's nothing to do with my place.
That's good. And don't be afraid. We know at some point you yourself are going to take a leak, and we are awfully prepared for that. So don't you fret.
Yes. But I'm also not rushing to force beverages down my throat because I'm actually out. I'm out of my non-sponsored Dr. Pepper. So tonight I've got the non-sponsored brisk iced tea.
Well, don't
So I
give
guess
me
I'm-
no lip, Ton. But, but yeah, I'm gonna pose this question for you. It's beautiful, and when people talk about Randy Orton and how fluid he makes everything look in the ring, I think it's time to give Ricochet his credit because when it comes to the high risk, the acrobatic skills, nobody makes it look easier than Ricochet.
Right?
However, the one thing I gotta ask, he seems to be stuck in a nutshell. And I'm saying that because that has been a song I've been listening to, Alice in Chains, by the way. I would love to see Ricochet go in the form of Street Profits and maybe turn that other cheek and join that group.
Right.
And I think that could be a very intriguing resurgence for him. What would you guys think about that?
I'd love to see it.
I'd love to see it too, and because I'm curious, because you guys have mentioned how he played a heel in Lucha Underground, so I'm intrigued to see how he would do that because I can't find footage of him being a heel on Lucha Underground right offhand right now. So
I was honestly half expecting at the PLE, instead of the surprise and the return that we got for that 6-man tag, I was anticipating Carmelo Hayes actually showing up with the LWO, but then turning.
See, I remember everybody was like, "Oh, it's going to be Dragon Lee. It's going to be Dragon Lee," and I'm like, "No, it's not." Because why would Rey Mysterio say I have to make a phone call on the SmackDown before when Dragon Lee was already in the arena?
Right. And is now
maybe
on the
he
main
left.
roster.
Maybe he left. Maybe he took a night out in the town. Can't assume what these superstars are doing at the shows.
You never know where Jalistico and Preston Vance were, so.
Yes, and yes, Dragon Lee is officially a part of the SmackDown roster,
Yes,
from what I've heard. It's still a soft call-up, as they're calling it. Like, there's a chance that they're probably going to put him back to NXT at some point, but right now it seems pretty.
But let's not gloss over what we just saw. We just saw Bronson Reed pick up that elusive victory.
Yes,
and win and become the new number one contender to the Intercontinental Championship
next week on Raw.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a fun match to watch. I so can't wait to talk about that match next week. So right now we've got Becky Lynch saying she's still not quite 100%, but she's going to give it her all. And she's shilling her book.
I mean, why not? I mean, I know I'm going to get it. It's going to be a read. Maybe I'll read it to my boy.
It's probably going to be on my order list as well.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. As OMD, you're probably just seeing this on your screen as we speak, but the man Becky Lynch has been approached by Xia Li.
Yes.
Who, by the way, on last week's main event had a very entertaining match with Indy Hartwell.
Yeah. Oh my lord. Chris, I know you're seeing it, but OMD, check out the eyes of who comes out next.
Okay.
That is a look right there. As now you should know, Drew McIntyre making his way out, but he looks focused. He looks determined. He looks like he is Mo or Mabel or even Oscar. He looks like a man on a mission.
And
tonight.
officially announced. Wait, actually, I'm not going to spoil it till OMD sees it.
Well, the Seth Rollins World Championship match has been announced. OMD.
Yes, it has.
There you go. It is against Drew McIntyre at Crown and Jewel.
Yes.
See
During
what I'm
Riyadh
doing, Chris?
season.
Yeah, you got to let the comment breathe. One of the best parts about promos I always felt was, especially as being a heel, like just slowing your talk a little bit. And when somebody's like, just hurry up already, and you can just be like, well, I mean, I know where I am. I'm in the city of such and such. I know I have to speak a little slower for you. But in this case,
I feel like Jared. I feel
with
like
the
Jericho.
delay. Oh man, just listen to Jake Roberts. He's one of the best of that, of slowing his speech. If you wanted it completely fast forward, look no further than a recent released man that we used to know as Dolph Ziggler, now Nick Nemeth.
Yes. Who has been challenged by the NWA heavyweight champion EC3.
I am not going to lie, but the NWA for Nick Nemeth to go to just makes sense. But I'm also going to say I would love to see Nick Nemeth and Josh Alexander or Chris Sabin or Alex Shelley.
Yes.
There is something about Impact Wrestling where Nick Nemeth, I think, will be a stud in.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's going to be a stud anywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, even Nemeth versus
the
Macklin.
challenge, but he's also got an angle with Jesse Goddard going on right now in OVW.
Oh, yeah. Hey, he can go to MLW and wrestle former busting out act Jay Bougie, which would be great. He could then go to X busting out or past busting out. Sorry, it's not X because he's welcome back anytime. But past busting out alumni as a guest MLW champion, Alex King.
Hey, I pointed out that now that Shelton Benjamin's released, it would be great if he went to MLW and wrestled Alex King, because Alex King would then get his dream match.
Yeah, there's something about Shelton Benjamin going to AEW that I think just makes all the sense in the world, though.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm going to just say this.
Everybody's angling to get him.
I want to see him and Swerve as a tag team.
That actually works.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. I like that
I'd like
idea
to see
a lot.
Shelton versus Swerve.
See, I produce people and great ideas, people. I am good.
But, I mean, to your point, okay, and as much as I'm not a fan of them, but Shelton and Swerve versus the Bucks.
You know, yeah. Unfortunately, I do see the Bucks going up against the new tag team champions. Well, Bill and absolute Ricky Starks and winning those titles, to be quite honest. But I would have time for that in the tag division. I really would. And look at that. Drew McIntyre just being a very good champ, sending our local establishment, Turnbuckle Studios, a kiss right there.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
That look, he's still giving off that look, man.
Mm-hmm.
As our normal host, Carl Carafel, would say, here comes JD McDouchebag, but I like this guy, so.
I think JD McDonough is just an absolute diamond in the rough when it comes to what they have. I still like the name he used to use, but I completely understand that was his real name and that they will not use that.
Right.
But the one thing I like about JD McDonough, and we will see it in this match, he knows how to take a great ass kicking. But at the same time, if you're giving him the reason of doubt here, he honestly has that aggression that can make you forget about the size difference.
Right. JD McDonough could very easily be the next Buddy Matthews on the WWE roster.
Oh, Buddy Matthews, man, that hurts me that WWE still released him. I mean, I'm glad he's doing well in AEW right now, but just a missed opportunity for WWE there. Jesus Christ, did you see that air?
Oh my God, even Matt Riddle can't get that high, man. That's 1 minute 38 and probably about 26 seconds there for Bobby. That might be the soundbite of this broadcast. Oh, please don't.
And you'll
make
notice
this
that
wash.
Dom's still at ringside for JD, even with the issues with Judgment Day.
Oh. The psychology of this
He's
match
probably
is just perfect.
He's probably out there to just make sure that JD does the job, you know? And JD is going to do the job, but...
What I do believe what will happen here is I have a feeling that JD will be brought in and we will see him and Finn in the tag title. And that will allow Damian Priest to go after the championship.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because, well, already
I
Damian
wouldn't be
played his claim for the title tonight, so...
I wouldn't be surprised if Damian Priest gets the Randy Orton treatment when he won the World Championship, though.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a very underrated story because it happened quick and it didn't get the proper reaction as I think a lot of people did. This match is just intense. But again, what did I say about JD McDonough's ability to make you forget about how much smaller he is?
Right. Oh, yeah.
That is a sign of a great worker that understands that, but takes that ability of disbelief away. And it's not even disbelief. It's just intelligence. His in-ring IQ is very high.
Yeah. It was a bit of a weird table bump from Dominic.
Yeah, they definitely took a little longer. And I think that's something that kind of weakens JD McDonough, what we're seeing. And I know OMD will get there in about a few seconds. But his ability to be a little too emotional about what just happened kind of takes away from the intensity that he brings.
Yeah.
And thus, I think he looks a little dumb when things don't go his way.
Right.
Because we see like just high intensity, everything's right there. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, why would he do that then? But very interesting. We have seen JD McDonough not get the job done with the Drew McIntyre problem here. But it did come in from a mistake from Dominic Mysterio. Now, will Judgment Day see that Dominic Mysterio is the one that messed up in this situation to cost JD McDonough, or will all the fault be to JD McDonough?
Right.
I think we're about to get our answer right now on that. Or maybe not.
What I love is the slow play, the patience. As Triple H did mention at the press conference when asked about Jade Cargill, who we saw make her WWE debut in the sense of her arrival to WWE. We haven't seen a promo. We haven't seen a match. We've just seen a segment where she arrived to Fastlane. But
Yes.
when asked about Jade Cargill and her plans on what brand, Triple H did mention that he is patient when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yes.
And I think that is something that when he said, we have to take out a context from that specific situation and then apply it to all situations, because he then went into further detail regarding Jade Cargill. But that one comment that I'm patient with this kind of stuff, it really signifies a lot of things of what we've been seeing lately.
Yes.
in
And
WWE.
Jade Cargill is reportedly going to be at Raw and at SmackDown this week. Now, whether we see her on camera or not, we don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Hunter's announcement on SmackDown has something to do with her.
It could be.
Or it could be something to
But
do
also,
it could also be something to do with the Jey Uso trade as well.
that
I can't see that one being Hunter. I could just see it being the fact that it's the season premiere of SmackDown.
So this just in. NXT and WWE announced earlier today that the first 30 minutes of NXT tomorrow night will be commercial free. Tony Khan has now just announced that the first half hour of Title Tuesday of the AEW Dynamite will also be commercial free. So everyone, the Tuesday Night Wars and the pettiness is heating up, people. And I'm not saying one's more petty than the other. They're just trying to they're just trying to get the advantage. I love it. I think it's great.
Right. No,
But
I mean,
it's absolutely fun.
I deal with it at work with that AEW smark who's like, AEW is clearly the superior brand and blah, blah, blah. WWE's running scared. No, it's called healthy competition.
Mhm. And we also just want to say, whether or not you like one or the other, that is not the worry. What you love is professional wrestling. That is what is brought to us and how we were brought together. And that is the most important thing. Just because you like chocolate and I may like vanilla, it does not matter. We're both fans of ice cream. That is what is important here. As long as you do the best job you can do it, and that is enjoy what you love and support it. That is all that matters, people. But what I love is that there is competition again, and which means that the business of professional wrestling is thriving once again. And as people that love professional wrestling, this is the candy that we need. We have a sugar rush. That is pro wrestling.
And that's what I loved about living through the Monday Night Wars. I mean, up here in Canada, we didn't technically get the Monday Night War, but it was we'd watch Raw on Monday night, and then be like, okay, well, we'll have to wait till Wednesday to see what WCW does.
No, we got Raw Monday nights at midnight, and then WCW Tuesday nights at midnight.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, I mean, like, yeah, we didn't have to deal with the Monday Night Wars. We were able to watch everything.
And that was beautiful because, like, I remember going to school Tuesday morning talking about Raw, and then we'd be like, "Oh, what's Nitro going to do about this?" You know?
Yep. They're going to announce that Mick Foley is winning the World Heavyweight Championship.
I remember being spoiled about that, reading that on NoDQ.com. Yes, I'm throwing an Aaron Rift plug out there. But I remember reading that on NoDQ.com, and I'm like, I have to watch Nitro when I get home from school tonight. But right now we are looking at the return of Johnny Gargano from last Monday.
Mm-hmm. And a great return that was.
A lot better than Carlitos on Saturday.
Yeah. You think you know what cool is?
I mean, I'm not knocking Carlitos' return.
No.
No, as I was saying, I'm not knocking Carlitos' return because that was entertaining, and I kind of saw that one coming too. But it was just fun to see Carlito back. That chair looks very small against Wade Barrett.
Now, let the Kaiser Giovanni Vinci are letting people know DIY means does Imperium yield? I don't think they do, as they're taking it to Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano in this backstage segment, as they don't care what they have to say. They're just getting their shots in.
I gotta say that was a brilliant way to continue the story because, like, I was actually expecting a whole sit-down interview, and that'd be that, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting an attack out of that. But I think the one thing that bugged me was seeing Wade Barrett run off like a little bitch. Given his size, you know?
Hey, man, he's on the no protected list for a reason, you know?
Yep.
So, I mean, it is. And right now we're getting a nice little video package about Tegan Knox, which just nice to see the emergence of all these other women that are employed, getting an opportunity to be spotlit in WWE. And this video package definitely giving you an idea of the hardship Tegan Knox that's had to endure so far. So if you don't know who Tegan Knox is, well, it starts with the word resilient, because that's all she's been doing lately. Ashford coming in saying Dynamite will be commercial free for the first 30 minutes tomorrow too. Ashford, we mentioned this because I saw your message in Slack, and well, it was shared. But thank you once again for coming in and popping by and letting us know. It's what we love about you. You're always helping out everyone, and we appreciate that. How are you, and how's your night going?
Yes, Astrid, it is wonderful to see you in here again. So thank you.
And Astrid, just so you know, I talked to Memphis earlier upstairs right before we went on, and he just said, and then did one of these. So there you go.
So the story behind Becky winning the NXT Women's title, it was to showcase the women of NXT and all the up and coming women on the main roster as well. And I got to say, so far, she's been pretty successful at it.
I mean, I think too. We also have to.
Charlotte's reign, but that flopped.
Yeah, we also have to give credit to Triple H because we all know how much of a supporter for the female division he was. There was a reason why when he was the creative mind of NXT, you saw the Sasha Banks, you saw the Bayley, you saw the Charlotte Flairs, you saw the not so much Becky Lynch necessarily in that picture, but you saw the Paige, you saw the Emmas, you saw the Natalias, you saw the Asukas, the Rhea Ripleys, the Shayna Baszlers.
The women who saw
exactly. You saw a lot of opportunity there for the women, which I think a lot of people, I know Astrid is definitely a supporter of this comment, that there's a lot of women out there in these companies, WWE, AEW. You need to give them that opportunity because they can do a lot of great things. And now we're just seeing a little bit of that with Tegan Knox getting an opportunity to showcase what she can do here. And I love it. I can't wait. It's going to be great. And as Astrid's in that chat, no better women's division right now in my eyes than the one in NXT. Yes, Impact, very good as well, but NXT is just killing it with the amount of time occupied to the women down there. It is absolutely fantastic. But man, just seeing the emergence of the women title, the women mid-card feuds. Now let's get the women tag titles up on the show a little bit.
Please.
But I missed myself a little bit of Casey Esquire. They were on a roll.
Yes, and we did get a vignette Friday on SmackDown for the Unholy Union.
I was just going to say, we did get Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not just women's wrestling from AEW and WWE and Impact that are killing it. Women's wrestling as a whole is killing it right now.
Yes.
It really is. The unfortunate aspect is just, you got to give them a larger opportunity. You got to give them that. Why? Because they can produce. They can do everything. You hired these women for a reason. Show them why they belong.
Yes.
They're not beavers. They don't hibernate. So let's showcase their abilities or talents, because as you see, whether it's a Rhea Ripley, whether it's a Becky Lynch, they showcases they can flagship the show if need be, if called upon. So treat them as such, people.
Absolutely.
I mean, right now, one of my favorite women's wrestlers isn't even employed by the big two, and she almost got employed earlier. And that's Hollywood Haley J.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hey, she's young. She has a future ahead of her.
Oh, yeah.
She will get another opportunity.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. She's going to be in the WWE within the next 2 years, I figure.
I would love to see you. I mean, we're talking, we mentioned that, like Asher has pointed out in the chat, Dynamite is also committing to 30 minutes of commercial free for their Dynamite on Title Tuesday tomorrow, just like NXT is doing the same. I would think it's hilarious if all of a sudden we see Hollywood J get that contract offer from Mr. Tony Khan. That would be right there with that business savviness, I think.
We've got Rhea talking to Drew in the back there.
I was just gonna say, is anybody seeing the
Yep.
the Easter egg that we will say? Very intriguing.
All right.
Is this what Rhea Ripley said? Oh, it's okay. Yeah, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
I was going to say, as we await Becky's entrance, I'm going to go to the locker room, so you might want to plug the shirt.
Nah.
Ooh.
I saw him fiddling around with the mic. I knew it was coming.
Hey, he's at the locker room. We don't talk about what he's fiddling with. All we know that if you want to see this great graphic that you see right in front of you on a t-shirt, make sure that you check out Carl Carafel's link tree that was displayed earlier. We will display that again, but yes,
his red
locker room visit.
Red bubble, not the link tree.
Yeah, but the red bubble is on the link tree. The link tree is what brings you to the other links that he has capable.
Oh, I didn't know that. I gotta. One of these days, I'm gonna look at.
I don't know either, but I just continuously talking, so I don't come up like an idiot for making a mistake. So what I was trying to say earlier. As we got C Wrestling in the house. C Wrestling, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Let us know a little bit more about not only who you are, but how you were brought to this channel. You may have been here before, but this is the first time I'm seeing you. So I'd like to know a little bit more about who you are and how you heard about how you heard about us. As we have Tegan Knox in the ring right now, preparing for her NXT title match against Becky Lynch.
This is going to be one heck of a match. I've been looking forward to this all week. So,
and as we saw earlier, we have 4 absolute monsters going after each other, which are Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley. We have Raquel Rodriguez, and we also have Shayna Baszler. And we can only think that that's going to be a 4-way for that Women's World Championship. But if we have that mixed with a very competitive NXT title match here, I mean, yeah, color me astounded and excited.
the NXT title, none of the NXT titles have ever been represented at the Saudi shows, right?
I don't know if the NXT title has. No, I'm gonna safely say no, but I could be corrected. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm hit or miss on the Saudi shows, to be quite honest.
I mean, the only Saudi show that I keep constantly getting reminded of is the Greatest Royal Rumble because of Titus World Slide.
I mean, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one Saudi show I keep getting reminded of is Goldberg and Taker, where Goldberg almost ended Taker's career. And so, yeah, I'm very hit or miss on those, but thankfully they've gotten away from bringing back these part-timers. And
I mean, the last one they did with Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul was very good. Whether or not you like the shows in general, we cannot deny that that was just a great wrestling show to watch. But speaking of great wrestling to watch, Becky Lynch against Tegan Knox, they're going hold for hold, move for move right now. Yeah. And I like it. This is, I think, the most serious that we can say. We can look at Tegan Knox right now. She's definitely motivated and determined. And I like this version of Tegan Knox.
Yes, counter for counter. I'm loving this match.
This is
This
reminding
is
me
what
of like the chain wrestling moments we'd get from like Kurt Angle or Chris Benoit from the early 2000s, and I'm loving it.
Right?
I'm gonna go you one further. This reminds me of the beginning of that Shawn Michaels Bret Hart Iron Man match. The feeling
Yes.
each other out kind of process here, and
Yeah,
kind of
that-
just
that-
taking things slow before it picks it up.
That first like 10-15 minutes of that match, right?
Mm-hmm. And you see the patience of Becky Lynch in this match. Absolutely amazing. She's shown her veteran presence here by that patience. That is exactly why she is the NXT champion right now. Just thinking on a different level. But Tegan Nox, no matter what Becky Lynch does, she is game. And I like this.
She needs to pick up the pace a little bit on those turnbuckle runs, just a little bit.
But there you go. There's the impact that you do need, though. It needs to be quick. I do agree, a little quicker.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're seeing a lot of aggression and a lot of Tegan Nox making the first move here. Very seldom we see the veteran not always making that first move, but Tegan Nox is definitely she's definitely game for anything that Becky is bringing right now.
Yep.
And the way she's acting like she's always seeming like she's one step ahead of Becky a little bit. It shows to me that she
and that's just
wants that title, you know?
Yep.
And the one thing you got to take in, you can easily do a lot of homework on Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
She's been there, right? Done that in a lot of big time matches. That's why she's called Big Time Bex. There's a reason for that. But when you want to look at, okay, maybe the homework of Tegan Nox and what she's capable of, those big time moments in WWE, there's not as much. So maybe we're seeing that Tegan Nox is finding some rhythm here because it's taken Becky Lynch out of surprise, because this is not something that Becky Lynch is used to, because she doesn't know the capability of Tegan Nox as much as she thought she did.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm excited about this match too, because it's completely fresh. And that's what I like actually about Becky's entire run so far, is every match she's had is a fresh match. Nothing she hasn't done in the past. You know what I mean?
I will admit there's
Yeah.
one match that I would love to see, and we saw a little hint of it in this one with the three corners with the head into the buckles, and that is I want to see the four corners match come back.
Now, I think you got to get the right people to do a match like that. My next question then is, who are you hoping to see in that match? Is it somebody like a Becky Lynch, or is it somebody else?
Well, in this situation, for me, it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's male or female.
Mm-hmm.
But I would, if we're going to go female, yes, I would love to see Becky or Rhea Ripley do that. And I'm talking Rhea versus Nia in the four corners.
Okay.
If I'm going to go to the men's side, I think that's a match that perfectly suits a heel Kevin Owens.
When you say four corners, do you actually mean strap match though?
It could be a strap match, but you have to slap all four corners
Yeah.
way to win.
Yeah, that's the strap match.
Yeah.
And that brings you back to the JBL Eddie Guerrero match that they
Yes.
had, where it was a strap match, and the winner had to hit all four corners in succession.
Yes.
That is definitely up there. One person I think that would make this match amazing, and I don't know about you guys, but the Intercontinental Champion Gunther, somebody that not only can make this, he can make it easy for him to slap those corners, but at the same time, he's smart enough to protect his corners if needed to be. And I think you need somebody like maybe whether it's a Chad Gable or maybe it's a Seth Rollins in this aspect. I'll put it out there. I would like to see Seth Rollins versus Gunther for that World Heavyweight Championship in a strap match, four corners match there. And if I'm picking anybody in the women's, I want to see, and I'm not going to pick Rhea Ripley. I think that is the easy answer here.
Okay.
But I would love to see Nia Jax versus Io Sky.
Okay.
I think I want to go back to Gunther doing a strap match. I think I would want to see that too, because of how innovative he could be using the strap as a weapon in the match.
Mm-hmm.
How about
with that being said,
how about Gunther versus Drew in the strap match?
I have to always throw Cody Rhodes in the mix, because when we talk about a stipulation like a strap match, you're thinking old school. And is there somebody in WWE right now that thinks old school more than Cody Rhodes?
The only other person I would put on that level would be a heel Kevin Owens.
I'm going to one-up you here and say heel Randall Keith Orton.
Okay.
And if you're gonna put Cody in a strap match, might as well make it a Texas bull rope match, because that was Dusty's match.
Yeah, but before we go any further in that, I do want to let people know we are back from commercial break. Tegan Knox just hit a beautiful crossbody on the man Becky Lynch here. Got a near fall.
Yes.
OMB, I know that you're caught up by now. It was a little.
I just got the crossbody and the pin.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. But this match has been absolutely amazing. The story and the build up for everything they're doing.
Yep.
You're just seeing them start at a very basic level, trying to compete, and then it intensifies, and then all of a sudden they're fighting for every inch, which is the stage that we are right now. And then whoever makes that first mistake is going to lose the match.
I'd like to pose
transition from the takedown to the arm, to the cross arm breaker. Beautiful.
Yeah. Go ahead, OMD.
I'd like to pose this question to you guys. Do we see, if in a damage control split, do we see Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox reunite as Team Kick to add another layer to the women's tag division?
I actually would not be opposed to that, but I'll even answer your question with a question and be, could we see Dakota Kai be the person, kind of like Finn Balor is with Jordan or JD McDonough? Could we see Dakota Kai ask for Tegan Knox to join Damage Control?
I'd love it. Or could we again see a new Damage Control with Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai, and maybe a more aggressive Raquel Rodriguez?
Wasn't Tegan Knox and Shotzi a tag team at one point?
They were. Literally they had like 2 matches and then Tegan got released.
Yeah, there's definitely thrown together tag teams.
Well,
when it comes to WWE, if you're not a thrown together tag team, you may not have a shelf life in this company over the last maybe 10, 15 years. Now, the one thing I am going to be critical about is Tegan Nox does have that cross armbar on Becky Lynch. However, the ref needs to be counting the shoulders of Tegan Nox there as they were both on the ground. Little things do absolutely infuriate me.
And it looked like he was getting down for the count, but he kept jumping back up.
Yeah. This definitely showcases to me that Tegan Nox is getting a little bit her stamina is definitely dwindling in this match, and this is definitely why Becky Lynch is a champion, because through her veteranness, she understands how to preserve that tank that is stamina in a match, whereas Tegan Nox she is getting the test of tests right now, and this could be the downfall of Tegan Nox.
I think this is the start of the rise of Tegan Nox, win or lose.
I just meant in the matchup, in the case of the winning the match, this could be Tegan's downfall to maybe getting the championship, but we'll see what she has. Cool. I did say Tegan Nox, resilient. We could see this. I'm not counting her out.
Cool reversal from the crossbody.
Yes, it was. It was almost like a follow-away slam with a pin, like a bridge pin.
Yeah, I liked it.
Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful.
That was a beautiful finish.
And OMD, we'll get there in about 10 seconds, I'm sure. But the transition, great. As we see.
Yep, that was beautiful transition chain wrestling finish.
Yeah, and a very competitive transition
Tegan.
That was.
Yeah.
It shows that she has fight. She's going to fight from bell to bell. It's going to get that. And I do think that word, again, I use resilience, indicates and just completely identifies who Tegan Nox is. No shame there. I hope we see a little bit of acknowledgement from Becky to Tegan to kind of give her that little rub right there if the match didn't do it. And
I think we're getting that right now, actually.
Yeah, I think if Becky Lynch is your NXT champion and she doesn't give that to the other baby faces here, I think that's the mistake.
Yeah.
And there it is. There's something beautiful about the story of look, this is not your time yet, but you still can win with a great showing and a great showcase. And that's exactly what happened with Tegan Nox. Becky Lynch did exactly what she was supposed to do. She got the job done, but we saw the birth of a rising star with Tegan Nox on Monday Night Raw.
So now we got Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, and Rhea Ripley with Adam Pearce.
Yeah.
And it's funny
because I love
Indy Hartwell is back appearing on NXT as well.
Yeah. What I love is that there's a transition of segments from match to backstage, and it was nothing but women. We have not seen that for a while. And I do want to point that on the Monday Night Raw, that is. Especially with a match that got that long of time, only to go back to another female segment, just indicates of how many people are really after Rhea Ripley in that world championship that she does possess. Yeah, there's that fatal four-way that you can potentially make. Nothing official yet, but you can also add Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae to that mix as well. Because as you said, it's either we want Rhea Ripley in that championship, or maybe we want to get payback for Nia Jax and how she thinks she can just run through the division.
Yeah. And again, it's also showcasing the depth of the women's roster.
And there you go. We got a little bit more of a definition of why Triple H is appearing on Friday Night SmackDown. It is the season premiere. Because as we know, when it comes to television, there are new seasons every year, and they do happen around this time. And from what I understand, this is the last season that SmackDown is under the Fox banner, as they will be heading back to the USA Network. So that is why Triple H is there, because
they've got the fall season, then they'll have the spring season, and then next fall they move back to the USA.
Okay, I always just count like 1 year as a season.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's more accurate.
And usually the new TV season is now. So
yeah. But yeah, no. WWE has a tendency to go all out on season premieres when it comes to their television.
Yes, they
shows.
do.
So I'm really curious about what Hunter's got to say on SmackDown. Because usually, unlike Tony Khan,
and I am intrigued by, and I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me, because with SmackDown moving back to USA, there has been talk about it for a couple of years, and with the potential of USA not renewing Raw or NXT, do you see SmackDown go to 3 hours?
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's really a tough one, because I know one of the reasons why Raw is 3 hours and they don't go back to 2 is that additional revenue stream that they get, which is very large. And the one thing I do want to point out, that the more revenue WWE can make right now, the less and less we can see releases. That is why we saw a very long attempt. Normally we get releases for WWE that earlier in the year. And one of the big reasons why it was so late was because both Nick Khan and Triple H tried very hard to prolong that as much as they can by adding additional revenue. This is a very good indication by why they're doing some of those bigger shows, whether it's the Clash of the Castle, whether it's Elimination Chamber in Perth, so on and so forth. This allows WWE to keep these talents.
Absolutely.
So if it's to help people keep their jobs with WWE, I do have a sentimental reason to hope that it does. Although I do like the 2 hours, and I think they do a great job with 2 hours. I don't want to see them become what we saw Raw at the early part of 3 hours, very diluted because people didn't know what to do. And I don't think that'll happen, but you never know. Sorry, I ranted there.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, I was going to say Hunter's going to make a big announcement, and unlike Tony Khan, Hunter's announcements actually mean something.
Right?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say Tony Khan's announcements don't mean anything. It's just if you do it all the time, they just don't feel as special.
It loses
and that's
its luster,
something,
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if something's on sale all year round, it just becomes the norm. But if something's on special once a year, I mean, let's take Black Friday, for example. Remember back where it was a big thing because it was only a specific amount of time? Now it's it's a lot longer. It's not as special as it used to be.
I mean, Best Buy here in Canada, they had Black Friday sales in July.
Yeah. But speaking of women on screen, we are seeing Natalya and we're seeing Tegan Knox on there. Kind of, teacher mentor right there. But then KC Square comes in only for Piper Niven and the one person I like to refer to as Chelsea Green. So maybe we see a triple threat for the tag titles coming up.
Natty and Piper Niven. That's going to be that'll be a fun match to watch. Getting it next week.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like the idea of Natty and Tegan Knox perhaps forming a tag team. I don't mind that.
Mhm. I'm going to say this. I'm going to put this out there. I know we have Damage Control. I know there's that 3-women group out there, but I kind of want to see Natalya maybe start being maybe a spokesman to maybe her group.
Right. There was a rumor that I had heard tossed around a couple of weeks ago, and it had Scarlett going and managing Isla Dawn and Alba Fire.
Before we answer to anything, that Ring General Gunther will defend against Big Bronson Reed for the Intercontinental Championship next week on the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. And Rhea Ripley will go against Shayna Baszler.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that one.
Right?
And we got Shinsuke
Falls
Nakamura
count
going
anywhere.
up against Ricochet in what Adam Pearce said earlier, a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Good. Hopefully that can put an end to that.
Man, and next week's Raw, they're calling it the season premiere as well.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
looking like a stacked show.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you stack your season premiere? That's where you set the
True.
premise for the next 6 months. And you keep in
No
mind
one-
you've got Crown
OMD,
Jewel. then
you
you've
asked
got-
me about. You asked me earlier, does NXT have tag team champions? We're talking about Stax. Yeah, Stax himself is one half of the NXT tag team champions with Tony D'Angelo.
Yes, he is.
So yes, had to just throw that out there.
Yeah, I had actually forgotten that they held the tag titles, but because every time I think about Stax and his partner there, I think about that segment they did with for the Fatal 4-Way there,
Yes.
where they're all sitting there having dinner.
Oh, don't tell me you guys didn't pop for that comment
Yeah.
from Sami Zayn.
"25 after 10, and we're going into the main event."
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
We are leading up to the.
Now let's see what they do with Sammy's music for this intro.
They gave him the right theme, so it was a flub from the audio department.
Or maybe you are right. Maybe the tag theme for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will be that. I don't know.
I don't know, but the way Sammy pointed it out in the promo, though,
Yeah.
when he said,
Haven't
"Haven't
heard
heard
that
that."
song.
You know what? I'm
years."
gonna point this out. Yeah. I mean, it could be right. I mean, things happen, but isn't Triple H the one person that any time that he came out, it was always the King of Kings, and then when he had the match, it was time to play the game.
Yes. Yes.
He
it
always
was.
used two
Yeah.
different themes as well. So maybe, just maybe, Sami Zayn could be executing the same thing. I'm not gonna lie, like I use that a lot in the independent scene. Like I was very a big, like when I was in a group, I would have my own personal individual theme song, but then I'd have one for the group as well. So like if I'm doing something within the group, we're using that. But if I'm myself,
Yeah.
I'm using my own one. So
Right.
I did the same
I do
thing.
like that.
When I was in a stable called Business Incorporated, we came out to "Taking Care of Business" by Bachman Turner Overdrive, but my individual theme was "Seeing Red" by Chauvel, or "Unwritten
That's
Law."
good.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a good song.
yeah,
Well, I know, like when we were in a group, we used, ironically enough, I listened to this song on Thursday morning. Shinedown's "Cut the Cord." Yes, you guys can see where I was going with that one.
yeah.
That was our group theme. But then my personal one, come on, "For Whom the Bell Tolls," Metallica. You can't get no better than that one. But yeah, as we gear up to the main event for the Undisputed Tag Team titles, just want to let everybody know that you have this last commercial break to, see at least the champions come out before maybe one last one during the match. But also just want to let everybody know tomorrow night here on our local establishment and on Turnbuckle Studios, you can see Turnbuckle Talk with Chris Best. And Chris Best, what can you tell the audience about Turnbuckle Talk tomorrow? So
tomorrow, what I'm thinking I'm going to do with the main story is I'm going to talk about Brian Pillman Jr. and the name change.
Don't got to mention what it is now.
Yeah.
But what time? If we have new viewers here, what time are you going on live at?
8:05 Eastern, my friend.
There you go.
And it's going to be me and OMD doing the show tonight.
Yes, as an added bonus, you're getting the OMD on Turnbuckle Talk tomorrow night.
There you go. As Carl Carafel is away with personal reason. I mean, let's just face it. We all have the shoot job, brother. Things happen. But yeah, you're going to get the dose of OMD and Chris Best. So you guys well. I know you guys are going to kick us. Pardon?
We appreciate
Is this the first Raw watch along we've done without Carl throughout the whole show, by the way?
Very well could be.
I know he's left halfway through shows previously because I remember one time he left because he wasn't feeling so grand.
Yeah. I mean, we can say now, he had the runs. It's fine.
Yep.
He needed the OMD locker room visit shirt that night.
Well, I mean, he may have searched for Titan Towers and went to the wrong place, if you know what I mean. But that's nor here nor there. But this is a very interesting.
We're getting a promo video for Just Kaiser.
Yeah.
I kind of like this video, though.
I mean, if you're a business owner in professional wrestling and you are employing Ludwig Kaiser and you don't see the potential in this guy, then again, I will say you're higher than Matt Riddle. You're blinder than the people that can't see John Cena, but you're also
an idiot.
Maybe slower than dial-up internet, but.
Okay, and I'm going to propose again another fantasy booking match for you here, gentlemen.
Okay.
Ludwig Kaiser versus JD McDonough.
That would be a fun match to watch, and I'd be sitting front row for that.
I think I'm going to do you one better. We saw Gunther have battles with this man. But what about Ludwig Kaiser versus the NXT champion Ilya Dragunov?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Just yes.
OMD, your match can get the attention. I think mine will swim in the pool. And with that being said, we are ready for the Monday Night Raw main event. As Jey Uso is getting the crowd oozy tonight. Omaha is feeling oozy for main event Jey Uso.
They were right into his entrance there.
Yeah. And they're going to be right into the next one, which is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. I'm going to point out maybe some for you guys because a lot of people want to say Cody Rhodes should be the guy that takes the title off Roman Reigns. And let me tell you, if they do that, I don't have a single problem with that by any means necessary. Shout out to the Nation of Domination. But what if, by chance, we see Cody Rhodes be the guy that turns on Jey Uso, and maybe that's the match that we get Cody Rhodes in at WrestleMania, only for Cody Rhodes to potentially be the guy that goes after the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw as a heel.
I actually played that scenario out in my head earlier during that opening promo. Because right now, the reason that Jey and Cody are together is so that we can get Jey just that much further up into the upper echelon of the main event, right?
And that's exactly where I'm going as well. A little bit more jolt for obviously Cody Rhodes will have a different steam as a heel in this idea, but also Jey Uso will definitely get the rub as well. So it does elevate two men in different ways, and it kind of allows you to look at the Seth Rollins, maybe Cody Rhodes series in a different light this time, because then Seth Rollins will be your babyface and Cody Rhodes will be your antagonist. So
yeah,
could very well be interesting. Because even though Cody Rhodes might have to finish your story, it might not be a book you necessarily want to find out what happens next on. And I think that's an interesting narrative. But once again, we're getting the in-ring announcing of all competitors because it's another championship match. What do you guys think about dual in-ring introductions on the same
I'm okay
night?
with it. I'm okay with it for title matches. But you don't need it for every match. Title matches or a special attraction match.
Yeah, because this kind of feels like when you're watching UFC and you've got a championship match and you've got the fighters in the ring and Bruce Buffer is doing his thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe I get from these. So championship matches, totally fine with it, you know?
Yep. I mean, to be fair, wrestling in general has done this a lot longer than MMA has. But it doesn't happen as much anymore, whereas the UFC does it every time there is a championship match.
Yes.
In fact, every fight they have, they do a net.
Now, is anybody noticing the new ink on KO's arm and the redness around it?
Yeah, it looks like he got some things filled in. I was actually noticing the fact that Cody Rhodes is sporting primarily red and blue, as he is the American Nightmare, but also the championships that he owns are in a strap that are the colors red and blue.
Yes. Cody Rhodes wearing his, I'm going to say, Transformers tights with the silver design on the knees.
I don't hate it. He's an avid comic book fan, just like his friend, as we used to know as Zack Ryder, now known as Matt Cardona, the Indie God.
Yes. There was a video clip I saw a couple of weeks ago of, I don't know if they were doing a live Major Figures podcast, and there was a fan went up and said to Matt and roasted him. It's like, I don't always come up to Vancouver, but when I do, I always eat my greens, and her name is Chelsea. And Brian Myers is just sitting there just like, holy shit, you did not just go there.
And in the form of a non-sponsored, I will say Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper.
Brisk.
I can only say that I am drinking, and I'm going to turn to that comment. A cold shoulder. Because I don't want to feel like a monster. But anyway.
But you could go rogue.
I will always go rogue. As I also have that too with me right now. Yeah. I'm very prepared. Like a good Boy Scout, I am prepared. But yeah, what are your guys' predictions for tonight's main event? Let's go around the room here. Chad, if you have anything to add to that, we definitely would like to know what you guys think. First, Bess, we're going to start with you. What are your hopes for this match? What do you think is going to happen? Who do you hope walks out of Monday Night Raw? Omaha, Nebraska, as your Undisputed Tag Team Champions.
I mean, I feel like it's going to be still Cody and Jey. And I think that's going to end because of shenanigans in some way. Like, I feel like Judgment Day is still going to make their presence felt in this match because of the fact that they are getting the tag title shots next week.
Yep. I'm inclined to agree with you, Chris. Again, I'd love to see KO and Sammy win them back, but I'm expecting Cody and Jey to retain. I'd rather it be a clean match than shenanigans, but you're going to get the shenanigans this week. I think we'll see them again next week, and the triple threat at Crown Jewel. Or a four-way if Roman has anything to say about it this coming Friday on SmackDown.
I'm going to throw this one out there. I think maybe this week we might see a clean match for the tag team titles up until the final bell, where then we see a championship retention from Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, but then we see a beatdown of all four men with every member of the Judgment Day, only to see that go down, and we wonder why, because I do feel next week on Raw, on the season premiere, I think that is when we see Solo, we see Jimmy helping up their new alliance with Judgment Day, and I think they will help Judgment Day reclaim those championships. What I'm very curious about is whether or not we're going to see an alliance between Drew McIntyre and the Judgment Day, given that Easter egg we saw with Rhea Ripley and Drew McIntyre having that conversation.
Right.
So we're back from commercial. Looks like Sami Zayn is on the up and up with Cody Rhodes right now. Which
coming off this commercial break, and we've already got a very competitive match going on.
Yeah,
kind of like that.
And very ironic of who was in the ring, although we do see a tag, but given the fact that we came back to commercial with Sami and Cody, two men going into or coming out of the Royal Rumble as potentially guys that could offset each other's steam when it came down to that undisputed World Heavyweight Championship held by Roman Reigns. So very intriguing. And very ironic right there.
This intriguing development there after the tag and Jey Uso in, allowing the clean break from Cody.
Yeah.
I think that's just a sign of respect because we got babyface tag team versus babyface tag team here.
Oh, absolutely. But you also get the high intensity between Jey Uso and KO when KO gets the tag in.
And right there, we saw a very interesting spot. And I know, OMD, you will get there in a little bit. But we normally see this out of Cody Rhodes, but we saw it out of Jey Uso. Off the ropes, Sami ducks. Jey drops to his knees only for that punch. We typically see Cody Rhodes do something similar where he drops to his back to do that punch.
And the match is broken down, and all 4 men are brawling outside the ring right now.
Yeah.
Is that you, Parrish, doing that, or?
No, it's my headset is starting to crackle.
Mm-hmm.
No, the wiring probably going all fucky.
Well, St. Rice Krispies, they'll give it the snap so we can pop. But talk about a slow burn in this match. We're seeing the same thing just from the Tegan Knox Becky Lynch match here in this tag match here. Very intriguing. Only makes me think that we are going to see kind of that funky finish, and maybe we will see a triple threat tag team title match at Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel.
I still think somehow this match is going to end with all 4 of them being united because of Judgment Day coming out, you know?
Well, and that's something we got to think, and I think they might say that next week with the season premiere and with Judgment Day getting that championship. I think we might see that closer to Survivor Series, where War Games will be a part of Survivor Series again this year. I think we'll see more of that next year, but I wouldn't bet against it being a little bit more of a okay, I can see these 4 together, and maybe that does come from a very intriguing competitive match and a show of respect.
Right. And
because maybe Kevin Owens
and Jey men things.
That's where I was going to go with. I think maybe that's where
Right.
we see Kevin Owens looking at Jey Uso in that different light, because this happened last year where Sami Zayn earned the respect of the bloodline by showcasing his loyalty and where he stood. When you fight in the trenches and you put everything you have and you fight for the team, you get the respect a little bit more from people. And if
Now,
you're in question,
now do we see
and
it?
how ironic would it be?
Because
Go
it was
ahead.
Jay last year that was doubting Sammy.
Yeah.
Now, do we see it? Do we see it Crown Jewel with the Seth Rollins Drew match? And I realize it's not a factor in this one, but do we start to see more of that heel tease from Drew, or do we wait until War Games and have Drew ambush everybody and join Judgment Day in War Games?
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the deal that Rhea is striking with Drew that says, look, we're not going to get involved in the business between you and Seth. But if by chance that gets finished, or by chance you don't win against Seth, maybe, just maybe, can you do a little something for us, and maybe you can get that next title shot against Damian Priest, kind of like what we saw with The Miz and Bobby Lashley.
That sounds similar to what Macho Man, I'm going really old school here, but what Macho Man tried to do with Ultimate Warrior and Sergeant Slaughter at Royal Rumble 91. Slaughter granted him a match, Warrior didn't.
Yeah, like it's just interesting because as we kind of just talked about that, we're seeing how ideas can be recycled and presented in different ways in professional wrestling. But when done right, it doesn't matter if they're recycled. If they are just done right, they are good, they're entertaining, and it's something that we care about. And that is really what wrestling is about.
Yeah. Even if it's a recycled idea, as long as it's authentic.
I mean, think of how many times TV sitcoms have recycled ideas from other shows.
Right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
How many times has The Simpsons copied itself?
How many times has Family Guy copied The Simpsons? How many times has Futurama copied The Simpsons, even though they're both made by the same person?
Oh, it's just like American Dad and Family Guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roxanne Perez and Asuka tomorrow night. I'm actually looking forward to that match.
Right?
Right. Jinx, you owe me a beer. 247.30. Bobby, get it. Cool. I'm undefeated on beer bets, by the way, just so people know. And we got the chinlock master right there, or the headlock master, Kevin Owens. But that is definitely a chinlock.
Yeah, I was gonna say Randy Orton's the chinlock master.
Well, he ain't here, and he got surpassed.
Yeah. Not yet.
I'm gonna say this: I don't have a Randy Orton shirt. I do have a Kevin Owens shirt and hat, so he wins in my eyes. And he's Canadian.
I have a Randy Orton shirt in my wrestling drawer.
I used to have one, but I'm pretty sure that got lost in moves. So I definitely had the RKO NWO shirt.
Right. I've had that one. I had the Age of Orton with the gas mask.
So next, with the season premieres coming up, usually with these season premieres, we always see something big happen, something big goes down. What are the chances that Randy Orton comes back on one of those two shows?
It would come out of nowhere.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
I wouldn't hate it.
Probably not. I wouldn't hate it. I'd love it, but I'm gonna say no. I'm thinking if he's coming back, it's going to be a big one. It's going to be Survivor Series. It's going to be the Royal Rumble.
My question is,
I'm gonna go out and say this:
where does he fit in with everything going on right now?
I think
Maybe
Randy Orton
on NXT with the Authors of Pain.
Well, they're not on NXT right now. But I think we're going to see an individual surprise on each show. Maybe even multiple. But I do think next week, keep your eyes open for the on-screen debut on a Raw or SmackDown of Jade Cargill. I think that is the big one. And I would be shocked if it's not USA for the reason that in due time, Jade Cargill could be SmackDown on USA.
Right.
So with USA getting the SmackDown deal after this next year with Fox, I wouldn't be surprised if Jade Cargill is a Monday Night Raw superstar. And I wouldn't be surprised if Randy Orton is a SmackDown guy afterwards.
So Jade Cargill, if she shows up on SmackDown, Raw, it would not surprise me if she shows up during this whole Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler situation.
Could we see Cody introduce her to NXT tomorrow night?
Perhaps, but again, I go back to I think we're going to see the Dusty Classic being introduced.
Yeah.
With Cody being a tag team champion, with Dusty Classic being a tag team tournament, and with Cody being Dusty's son, there's just way too many things that are stars that align.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it seems pretty obvious that that's what we're going with, you know?
But maybe he brings back Stardust. We never know. That's why you got to watch NXT tomorrow night, Tuesday, and then afterwards you can see the reactions of taking over Thatcher Bizarre and Ed Fries that follow Turnbuckle Talk with the co-host taking over as the host, Chris Best, alongside with OMD at 8:05 Eastern. Make sure you're checking everything out. That is live on both the OLE and Turnbuckle Studios, whereas taking over can be shared through the Twitch stream of both OLE, Ed Fries, and Astrid Pizarro.
Could we see Cody announce that he and Jey are entering the Dusty Classic?
Not if it's for a shot at their titles. If that's what Cody's going to do.
Normally, there is a championship match that does come out of this.
Or could we see
Oh, is there? Oh,
Cody
out
say,
of the
I
way.
want to enter the Dusty Classic with a different partner, and we see Goldust.
He is still contracted at AEW. That will not happen right now. Dustin Reynolds' contract does go through the month of October, so we cannot see that right now. I will say, what if he announces this tournament and Tony D'Angelo and Stax enter as NXT champions, and if they win, they got to sacrifice their championship to get a shot at theirs, and there could be that ultimate tag team title combination, or maybe that is the thing.
Right.
And we then see a new set of tag team titles in WWE.
Very easily, yes, because now you've unified all three brands.
Mm-hmm. Just like WWE and UFC, I've merged things together here.
But the problem with that is because we've already unified the women's tag titles, how often have they been on SmackDown? How often have they been on NXT?
They haven't.
How often have they been on Raw?
Right.
But I mean, that's also, we have to understand now that it's a different era. If the rumors are true that Vince McMahon is no longer a part of creative and Triple H does have the final say, I do think we're going to see more of it. I really do.
Yep.
And we saw six people in a program that involved
Chelsea and Piper alternate between each show, you know?
I think having traveling champions in the tag team aspect is very intelligent.
Yeah.
OMD, do you have a little bit of a blackout on your Sportsnet?
No. Not yet.
Could be the West Coast.
I don't have one.
Not yet. I've got Jay climbing for the Uso splash.
Why did your feed just like completely cut out there, Parrish? Or
Nope, just a temporary blackout. It is back up right now.
yeah, that happened to us a couple of weeks ago. Though we kept on getting like a weird like black cutouts on Sportsnet.
Yep.
It's weird because I do live right in front of a electrical box, so sometimes if things happen, I'm either the most protected or the most accessible to something. So you just got to take it in stride.
I live down the road from where our. Actually, I don't live down the road from the Shaw office, but I live close enough to one of our Shaw satellites in the city. Or excuse me, Rogers now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, we got the clean victory.
Mm-hmm. As I earlier did say. But we had Jey Uso pinning Kevin Owens, which I thought was very intriguing.
Yes.
Cody has to be really careful when doing that move.
Yeah. You're talking about the springboard cutter there, right?
Yeah. As this retains the match that we know next week, that is Damian Priest and Finn Balor getting the rematch for those undisputed WWE Tag Team titles against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso.
And doesn't appear as though we're going to get any shenanigans here.
No, right now we're just getting a rundown of next week. Intercontinental Championship between Bronson Reed and Gunther. So we definitely have a tag team title, an Intercontinental Championship match alongside. We also have Rhea Ripley against Shayna Baszler, straight up match, non-title, alongside a last man standing match between Shinsuke Nakamura, or sorry, a false count anywhere match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Ricochet.
Yes.
I kind of like that they're doing this. They're telling you what to expect next week. I kind of wish they would do this like every week, you know?
Well, not every week is a premiere or a season premiere.
Yeah, but they could still be like set up a match for next week and then remind the fans at the end of the night, hey, next week, if you tune in, you're going to see this match, you know?
Oh, I'm not denying that they can do a little bit more. Because the one thing that separates extraordinary and ordinary is that little extra.
Okay.
And there you go.
Well, they said wouldn't mind if we ended the show with all of them standing united.
United we stand, divided we fall. We can be prepared for war games with these four as potential candidates to go up against the Judgment Day / Bloodline.
Wow. And now you've got KO raising Jay's hand and hugging him at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm. So what do we guys think about the end of Monday Night Raw, this episode of Monday Night Raw? Final thoughts as we prepare to end the stream today.
This Raw gets a solid 8 out of 10 from me. It was definitely delivered more than the PLE did.
Yeah, it was a by the numbers Raw. I agree on the 8 out of 10. It definitely has set forward what we're going to see at Survivor Series and at Crown Jewel. So now we're seeing 2 PLEs being promoted on one show here.
Yes.
And as if anybody was able to catch, I know you, Chris, best did, but if anybody in the chat saw Bussing Out yesterday with myself, Tom Colliehue did point out that 90%, like a lot of the story and a lot of the meat of the stories we see will occur during Monday Night Raw, the Friday Night SmackDown, those shows. So it's very important to check out those shows as we saw a gigantic amount of story and direction from where WWE is going with whether it's next week with Monday Night Raw, that season premiere that just seems to be more stacked than let's just say than maybe a Black Friday sale at a department store. It's more stacked than that, people. But also,
I mean, these next 3 shows from WWE are stacked. We got NXT tomorrow. That's going to be stacked as hell. SmackDown's going to be stacked, and Raw next week. So kind of looking forward to this next week of wrestling.
And just to keep it going, we're seeing 4 men united right before a potential War Games match where they have common enemies, which are both Judgment Day and Bloodline. And that is Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, main event Jey Uso. We saw some development in the women's division. We saw some development in the women's tag division as we saw a segment with both Tegan Knox and Talia, Casey Squared, and the tag champs of Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Green. We also have direction of where we're going next with the Intercontinental Championship. We saw a great NXT Championship match tonight. We got some direction of where we're going, so people strap in. You're going to be ready for a ride.
Yeah. This post PLE show felt like an actual post PLE show. They were like, okay, so we've completed the stories at the PLE. Time to move on with this next thing that we want to do, you know?
Yeah. But as we're nearing to the end, it's time to kind of let everybody know who we are, where you can find us, and what we have going on. OMD, I'm going to start with you. Where can the people find you, and what do you have coming on during this week that is?
Well, every Monday night you can catch me right here on the Raw Watch Along with Chris Best, with Mr. Parrish, myself, and our usual host, Mr. Carl Carafel, who is away on assignment tonight. Every Tuesday night, or alternating Tuesdays, you can catch me on Turnbuckle Talk again with Carl Carafel and Chris Best. Thursdays, you can catch me on the Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke, where we do all things gaming and streaming and entertainment-wise outside of the wrestling genre. On Facebook, you can find me under my name, Daniel Hrycyk, Hrycyk. On Snapchat at One Man Dynamic, capitals on OM and D, and on Twitch at OMD17.
Chris Best, co-host of Turnbuckle Talk, hosting this week. Where can we find you this week, and what do you have?
Find me at youtube.com, ChrisDamage83, CBRS Entertainment on Twitch, CBest Films on Threads, Facebook.com, Chris.best83, and on TikTok, CBRS.entertainment. You can look for me tomorrow night alongside the man below me here, OMD, for Turnbuckle Talk at 8:05 Eastern. You can also find me here 8 p.m. Eastern with Parrish, Carl, and OMD doing our Raw watch along as we like to do every week, where we don't just talk Raw, we just talk anything that's on our mind.
Yeah, we kind of shoot the shit. And where you can find me is usually at my residence right now as I'm cleaning diapers as we talk about that shit. But if you want to find me on the line, you can find me on the X at Chris Parrish, the Instagram and the Threads at Chris.Parrish, because why let a period wreck a good time? I don't. That's why I added one. Follow me on Twitch at twitch.com/the Chris Parrish, or at the YouTube and the Kick at Chris Parrish. In terms of where you can find me, I will return with Ed Fries this Wednesday following Dynamite at about 10 p.m. Eastern. You can see the return of Wrestle Draft. No more Solo. Nah, we're tired of Sokoa. We're going back. We're going back to that duo. You know, we're going to DIY this shiznit, and we're going to get it done. We're going to try to beat that bastard Eric Bischoff, and we're going to definitely swing for the fences. Technically ahead of it for a second. So yeah, and then every Sunday you can follow me with the return of the Brunch Busters to Busting Out this Sunday at 12:15 Eastern, live on the OLE Twitch, where you can find all the great little things right there and below. That's where you can find anything our local establishment. But we cannot end this show without giving love and support to our good friend, the Golden Standard, Carl Carafel. Make sure you're checking his link tree out there right now. linktr.ee/Carl Carafel. We appreciate that and so much more. Check out all the links, including his Redbubble, because he has a lot of great things, just like that locker room t-shirt that you saw earlier with the graphics. Any last parting words from you guys?
No, just looking forward to this next week of wrestling. It's just, as I said, stacked shows all around.
I have nothing. I am looking forward to NXT tomorrow night, Turnbuckle Talk, as well as the start of the NHL season, although I probably won't pay a whole lot of attention to the games tomorrow. But then Wednesday night, we do have the return of the Leafs and Parrish's beloved Oilers.
Mm-hmm. The Stanley Cup favorites, by the way.
I will put that in there. Well, they can be favorited all they wanted. How many times has Toronto been in that position and choked? So,
yeah, but we win in the playoffs more than you guys. But with that being said, it doesn't matter. This is Hockey Banner. We are here with the Monday Night Raw Watch Along. We want to thank everyone that did come and spend some time with us. We appreciate you, and we will see you next week for the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. We appreciate you. You have a great night, because it's better to have a good night. No, not at all. Take care, everyone. Bye now.
Always followed my own direction. No one can pull me out. I've always felt different from the others. I'm running away now. Fears are fading, won't stop bleeding. 'Cause I'm sick of standing up beside going south. I'm sick of never being able to cross the line. I'm sick